In this video, we're actually going to observe and study the different kinds of impact strength in hitting a target, and the we'll actually be able to differentiate how much of a force we'll need in order to hit a single target. Primarily, we're actually going to hit the head this time, so this entire portion. You can choose also to hit the entire body, like so. And for demonstration purposes, we're actually going to use the stick. So, push it back here. Let the car outside because I actually need space, hence why it goes. Right. So for the purposes of this demonstration, we're actually just going to do the basic strikes. So the basic strikes will be this right here, making the X motion, all right? We're going to do variations of it. Like so, we can do strength, so here, or just going to do a simple tap, like so. Or we could feint tap, right? Feint tap, feint tap, or feint whack, like so, okay? So, if you use a blunt weapon, like a stick for example, and you're about to hit a target, you need to actually analyze at that instant when or how much force you're actually going to use in order to stop the target or stop the threat. Okay. So for you to see, I'm going to actually use my left hand right here. That's just a tap, like so. Okay. So what I'm actually doing is just this. So do it in slow motion, and then read it like so. In full speed, just that. It's just a single tap. So you're kind of like just tagging the target, in this case, the right side of your thread's head. You're just tagging it, like so. Doesn't matter where the stick comes from. Notice that I'm not using my waist. I'm not even using my legs. I'm just using them for stability. This is purely arm movement, like so. Okay? This is purely arm movement. You're not seeing any torso action involved. See, that's the tapping, this one. Next we're actually going to do is to do an actual swing. We're not actually going to use a blunt force, or full force rather, like the sound that you just heard. We're not going to do that. We're just going to do it normally. As if I just want to loosely bring my stick to my opposite hip. Relaxed, like so. Okay? See? Notice the main difference. The first was just a tap, right? You're just tagging, like so. If I want to loosely bring my stick to my opposite hip, like very loosely, like this motion right here. See how loose my arm is? This is what it would look like. See? Like so. It doesn't mean that I loosen my grip to the point where if I actually just bring my stick down, that I actually let go of my stick. I'm gripping my stick just enough for me to not let go. Okay? Again, we're going to tap. Now we're actually going to do the loose motion. Loose slash, really. Like so. Now, we're actually going to add intent. The first two hits, or the first two motions that we did, there wasn't any kind of intent. We just like to lightly tag, or just lightly or loosely bring our stick from our shoulder to our opposite hip. There's no intent in there. Now we're actually going to add intent. Intent meaning we're actually going to add more muscle into our strikes. So if this is the light tap a while ago, and this is the loose portion of doing the slashing, very loose. Just arm, my arm is not tight. We're now actually going to add intent, like so. Now it has a sound once I do my normal slash, like so. Okay. First we do the tap with intent. See, there's a main difference between no intent as opposed to with intent. I'm now, instead of doing this, so barely any muscle added, with like so. There's now a slight hip movement or involvement. My torso is twisting to add additional follow through to my strike, transfers to my arm, in this case my left, like so. There's the intent now. Okay, for additional force, I can actually try to pivot my back leg and further stabilize my front leg, like so. Okay. Okay. Without intent. Oops. With intent. There. Now we're going to add intent with this motion. Okay. This is the loose form that I showed a while ago. With intent, the stick now has a bit of a sound once you swing it to your opposite hip. Notice the rotation of my hip, my torso, transferring to my arm, which is holding the stick. Without intent, with intent. Now I'm actually going to add muscle. Like so. Okay. Now what happens if we actually go full power, or should I say do as much rotation as we could? Because the first that we did was that we didn't do any kind of rotation at all. So we're not moving our hip, we're not pivoting our foot, we're not stabilizing our front leg, we're not even moving our torso, we're just standing still, right? And then we add a bit of intent by just moving our torso and hip and stabilizing our front leg just enough for our impact to land, okay? Without intent, with intent. There's a bit of a sound now. Now if we go full force, see? It's as if you're actually trying to break the stick, if you're actually going to go full force this time. Now as I do my slash, that was the tap. I know it's not a tap, but because we added full force this time, there's actually hardly any difference. Now we're actually going to do the slash motion. Like so. Okay? Keep in mind, we just did two kinds of motions, or two kinds of strikes rather. We're doing tap, and we're doing the slash. Like so. You can train only these two, the very basic ones, in different ways so that you can actually be able to differentiate how much force you need in order to stop your target or to stop the threat. It doesn't mean that just because you know the advanced techniques that you'll need to stop doing the basics. In fact, when you go back to learning the basics, that's when you're actually going to learn further, or should I say, further develop rather advanced techniques or advanced skills, because you're honing your basics. And that's what we just did a while ago. Two basic strikes, three different kind of approaches, three different kind of applications. No rotation for the first, with a bit of intent, slight rotation. Full power is as if you want to bring your stick go through your target, whether if it's a tap or a normal slash. Okay, once again for review. No intent. With intent. Full power. Like so. So hopefully this simple demonstration showed you that you can actually practice the basics and approach them differently so that you'll be able to see the different angles on how you can actually assess the threat and approach the threat. Hopefully this video helped you even in the smallest way possible. And God bless you.